Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, August 9th. I'm Kiki Thaxter.
And I'm Brian Boudreau. It's great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. This week on Norwood News, the Norwood Police gathered at the Common for their annual National Night Out. Morrill Memorial Library takes Storytime outside, but first, this Sunday, the NHS Alumni Band will be playing together on the Town Common to honor retired Fine Arts Director Paul Alberta. Kyle Leonard, NHS Class of 2022, is organizing the event in honor of Paul, with whom he shared a very special relationship.
This past year, Norwood lost a local legend. Retired Director of Fine Arts and founder of the NHS music program, Paul Alberta. Paul leaves behind a legacy that he built from the ground up, and his children were able to see it firsthand.
He got the best out of, he used to say all the time, mediocrity. I would take a mediocrity and make these kids. He pushed and pushed and pushed. And that was his biggest thing, was I pushed these kids today and it worked. And they listened, and now we're at this level instead of this level. And you know, he just was so vested in it, you know, and making sure everything was excellent. And it was all about giving the best performance and the kids the best experience. And that's what he always said.
After 39 years of teaching in Norwood, the number of students that learned and benefited from the maestro is countless. One student in particular, Kyle Leonard, NHS graduate of 2022, shared a special relationship with Alberta.
Kyle, Dad, they had a very special bond. They,
I wonder, a lot of it is sharing the experience of the anniversary. Yeah. I mean, clearly, the pops. You know, the pops, right. and that anniversary, but they had a relationship prior to that, obviously, as, you know, teacher-student, right. And they bonded, play the same instrument. Dad, obviously, you know, he talked about him often. When we would come over.
Kyle is me. He reminds me of me when I was his age. He has the drive, he's got the ambition. He is everything. I look at him and I see me, and I know he's got what it takes.
So I started studying saxophone with Mr. Alberta in 8th grade, and I took lessons with him all the way up until I graduated, and then I did a few lessons with him the summer after, because with the Boston Pops, I needed a little help learning a lot of music in a short amount of time. So I'd go over to his house, do some lessons. I think it was our love for music, and he could see the passion I had for it just as much as I could see how much he had for it.
Alberta was an avid clarinet and saxophone player, and one of his prized possessions was a 1936 saxophone.
He's had that. I mean, he's as much as
6.
we were little. I mean, he played, so not only with Dad teaching, and you would think he had no time to do anything else. Well, he played a lot of gigs and jobs with polka bands and stuff.
He's a recorder.
To get, you know, and he you know, recorded all the records and all that stuff. But that was his sax. That was, I mean, everything he did was with that. So he played that thing in his clarinet. That was it. That thing, and it was, knowing a little bit about instruments, that was a very nice instrument.
One of Alberta's wishes before he passed was that the saxophone be given to a person special to him.
Kyle would come to the house a lot to visit my parents when my dad was sick, and call all the time, and they had a very special bond. And I was at the house when Kyle came to visit, and Dad, after Kyle left, my father said, you know, get in here. And I was like, okay, what's up? And he goes, my saxophone. He goes, I said, okay. He goes, you know which one? I'm like, yeah. He goes, do not forget that goes to Kyle when I pass. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I'm serious. Make that happen. And he goes, I want him to have it.
It was interesting. We did it at the reception after the funeral, and so we brought him kind of out of the mix of people, and we literally, because it was on display, and just grabbed it. And as soon as we came around the corner, the girls were talking to him and handed it to him, and when he broke down. I mean, it was
It was an emotional
It was
moment
an
for,
emotional
for
moment that
everyone,
you would-
all of us.
It was wonderful to see.
So before that, at the wake, they had the saxophone and his clarinet up on a mantle. I'm gonna be really honest, the second I saw the saxophone, just the waterworks began. Because a few years ago, just especially for me, he took it out of wherever he had it for the last 15, 20 years and asked me to play it for him. So when I saw it at the wake, it brought back those memories. And then at the funeral, at the reception after, they all sat me down and then they told me that he would like me to have his horn.
What did that mean to you?
I don't even know how to describe it because I knew we were really close and I would go see him, every break. I'd see him, honestly, as much as I could. So the fact that he meant as much to me as I meant, he meant a lot to me, and then that really, I knew I meant a lot to him, but it just, the feeling, I don't even know.
Kyle learned more than just music from his time with Alberta that he will carry with him throughout his life.
More than, basically just how to function as a human. Besides the music, he helped me get to a point where I can now play professionally and do what I love for a living. But he also just taught me how to be a great person and just how to reach others.
We have a motto here in Norwood: once a Mustang, always a Mustang. And Alberta was the ultimate Mustang.
Everything.
This is
It
life.
was-
It
it was
really
his
was in a
life.
lot of ways.
From day one.
Yeah.
From day one,
Yeah.
right up until he passed.
Yeah.
This is his place.
Yeah.
And, I rewatched that interview
Yeah.
last night or the night before, and I said, I'm gonna take some notes because I knew we were meeting today, and I said I'm gonna jot down a few things, but I definitely feel like that last quote, this is my place.
Yeah.
This has been my first job, was Norwood, and I stayed for 39 years, and Norwood is like home to me. Norwood has been everything to me, my whole professional life. I love Norwood. I love the people. This will always be my place.
During COVID, the Morrill Memorial Library started an outdoor story time and has continued the tradition every summer. Here's Head of Youth Services, Kate Teig, with more on the program.
My name is Kate Teig. I am the Head of Youth Services at the Morrill Memorial Library here in Norwood, and I've been in my role here for about 10 years. You are meeting us at Outdoor Storytime here at the Bond Street Tot Lot. We started this program during the pandemic when we weren't really going indoors for things, so we decided we were going to go out to people, and we asked the Board of Selectmen if we could use this field next to the Tot Lot to have a story time. They agreed, and we just started. It was like our first regular story time that we did during the pandemic, and it was a way for people to be socially distant at the time, but come out and kind of just forget about all the stuff that was going on. It was really fun. Everybody brought picnic blankets. Kids have snacks. We read stories. We do a lot of music. And we also do some sort of special group activity like scarves or a parachute at the end of the program. So it's really fun. It's a great way for kids to get outdoors. It's really important for kids to be able to get outdoors and play, but it's also great to read stories, so we figured we would combine the two. So today we read Mouse Paint, which is a classic story about color mixing. It's a great way to get toddlers and preschoolers thinking about how do we mix colors, what are the primary colors, what are the secondary colors. But it's a fun story because it's about a bunch of white mice who get into trouble jumping into paint. So that was Mouse Paint, and then we also read Is Everybody Ready for Fun?, which is a really interactive story. I like to do stories that have a lot of interactive components and encourage kids to move their bodies. So that one had a lot of jumping, and we did some dancing, and we did some wiggling, and that really gets like their energy out and gets them to move around and use those gross motor skills. So I like to do things that gets everybody up and moving. I love this. I mean, afterwards I'm a little tired and sometimes a little sweaty, but that's okay. I love seeing everyone's faces. The kids all have a great time moving around, and you can see smiles, and I get a lot of high fives after story time. And I think it's a great way for families to get out here, get outside, go play at the playground, and then a lot of families come to the library. So it's a great way to spend a morning, and we can see families really enjoy it.
NHS alum Eric Carriga, class of 2007, posted the following on Facebook, and it was shared on the Norwood High School alumni page. Court said it all best in her post, so I won't blab on, but she needs a kidney ASAP. Although I'm hoping mine is the best candidate, if you have an extra one and are willing/able to at least get screened, it would be appreciated. The more the merrier. Thank you. Carriga's fiance, Courtney Brewer, has a rare autoimmune kidney disease and is in need of a transplant. Brewer explains the details on her Facebook page. If you're interested in being initially screened, you can head to the following website, www.livingdonortufts.org.
When Norwood News returns, we check in on the Hawes pool renovation progress. Norwood Day is quickly approaching, and we hear from Chief Patton at this year's National Night Out event. Recreation Superintendent John Kinney announces that the department is using the MyRec software once again. MyRec recreation software assists municipal, government, and private organizations in supporting their communities with access to the cloud-based solution.
As a lot of you know, the Recreation Department moved over to Sportsman last year. There were several issues with the program, unfortunately. And then just getting feedback from the general public and our own staff using it, we felt it be a better adjustment for us to go back to MyRec. They've made some improvements with their system. So we've already established the program back. We have our programs for the fall and winter are all in the software ready to go. Registration will be on August 19th. If you did have a username for MyRec, it's still live. You might have to change your password. If anybody needs help with that password change, please call the rec or email one of us down here and we can help you out with that. If you have never had a MyRec program, you can go to the rec page on the town website. There's a link right there that you can go to and click the link and establish a new account for you right away. And again, if you need any help with any of that stuff, you can always call us or email us down at the rec department.
Buttons are now on sale for Norwood Day 2024. John Kinney has the details on where you can get one.
Norwood Day, as you know, is a very popular event every year. You get thousands and thousands of people coming down to Washington Street to enjoy all the attractions, the vendors, the rides, the shows and everything. So we have a few new things coming up this year. Don't want to release that secret yet. It should be a good time. They'll be located in the gazebo area of Town Common and out on the Central Street turf. There'll be one of the bigger events there. But mark your calendars, September 7th. We will be getting the buttons out shortly. They will be able to be purchased at Town Hall, the library, Senior Center, the Rec, of course, and we're going to try to find a few more locations with local vendors to see if we can drop some buttons off there as well to make it a little bit easier for people to purchase the button and save a little money before the day of the event.
It's the first week of August, and that means it's time for the annual National Night Out for police departments throughout the country. Norwood police officers were on the town common welcoming the Norwood community. Here's Chief Patton explaining the importance of a night like this.
Tonight's National Night Out. It's a national program. Law enforcement puts on events like this all across the country. The purpose is to kind of get the community to come out, kids to come out, interact with the police, kind of get a chance to talk to the officers. As you see, you'll see that we have all kinds of things going on. We have, we're serving some food. We have some police cars here. We have a dunk tank, which I will not be getting into. We have some, like a ball pit. We have some SWAT gear, motorcycles. Just kind of really an opportunity for the community and really geared towards kids to come out, talk to the police officers, get to know us, understand what it is we do, ask questions, and spend some time interacting with us. And it's a great opportunity for us to interact with the people and the kids in the community. You know, a lot of people see police officers when they're in crisis, when they come to an accident or a problem at their house, or if they got robbed. This is an opportunity just to kind of get to know police officers in a more casual atmosphere, just to kind of really talk to them, know them. It's kind of the same thing that we do when we're out walking the beat, talking to merchants and things like that. It's a community policing event. I think the best thing about National Night Out and any event where you get to just meet people in the community is really interacting. Some people you know, and you get to see them again, which is great. But it's great when you have all these different officers here and they can talk with different folks about whatever it is that they want to ask, to get to know them on a different level. I like the hot dogs too.
Now we're going to send it over to Ron Marshalsea with the latest in sports.
I'm Ron Marshalsea, and this is your Sports Update. Thursday, August 8th was the premiere of the newest episode of NCM Sports Talk. If you missed it, don't you worry. It will be playing again on Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock and twice on Sunday the 11th, once at 11 a.m. and the other at 9 p.m. On this brand new episode, we get to learn about coaches Jen Dwyer and Kate Curtin of the swim and dive teams. Mark Hoover dives in deep into the ongoing career of three-sport athlete Shay Larkey. And Joe Pinola got to talk with Endicott baseball star Robbie Wachowski. Plus, some highlights from Youth Girls Lacrosse, the Spring Sports Award video in full, and interviews with Mike and Olivia Lodge after their first round win in the D2 State Lacrosse Tournament this past spring. Only on the newest episode of NCM Sports Talk, playing on the NCM Community Channel this weekend and available on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. And that is all I have for this Sports Update. I'm Ron Marshalsea. And Norwood News will be right back after this break.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Zegheib at the Skating Club of Austin, and I'm here to tell you about a great summer ice show we're presenting on August 15th at 7 p.m. Summer's Elite Skating Sizzler. It is a first look at the nation's best competitors skating here in Norwood. 2 world champions, a world silver medalist, and countless national champions and other medalists all here performing, getting ready for their season. It's a great benefit, it supports their training, Team USA kids. Tickets are $35 each and $30 if you buy 4, a family 4-pack. You can get your tickets at scboston.org/events. And again, that's on August 15th at 7 p.m. Come on down, beat the heat, and get cool with the nation's best skaters.
Construction continues as the next phase of the Hawes Pool renovation gets underway.
The Hawes Pool project is going very smoothly right now. They just finished up the demo portion of the project, so all the shell of the pool, the concrete, has been transported out of there, and they're currently moving some of the excess dirt out of the way into the smaller parking lot just so they have more room to keep going with the construction project itself as they move into the shaping phase of the pool, and shortly after that we'll go forward with the pool itself. Yeah, the shaping phase is just when the big tractors and everything are in there, taking excess dirt out. They'll start to put in some crushed stone shortly. Hopefully by next week they start doing that. And once they do that, then they can really get into the nuts and bolts of it with the form itself and the concrete and all that.
If you're looking for some real homemade Mediterranean cuisine, make your way to the Norwood Airport and visit Tassos Euro Cafe, where you'll feel like you're in the heart of Greece. Located at Norwood Airport, Tassos Euro Cafe has been serving up Greek specialties for nearly 20 years. However, Tassos' roots started somewhere else.
Born in Quincy, raised in Quincy. Restaurant was in Quincy Center, 22 years. A lot different from this Tassos. It was more like a pizza, sub shop, a few Greek items. We had a fire in the restaurant in Quincy in 2001, which we lost our business and got on with life, finished college. I have 3 sisters, we all finished school. And then we got a call from a friend of my father's who was working at the airport and said, you know, Tasso, I have a place for you. It's vacant right now. We can't seem to keep, anything good in there. So come check it out. My father has a conference call with all 3 sisters and he's like, I want you guys to come and check out a location. And we're like, where is it? He goes, Norwood Airport. And I'm like, oh, please, just stop. Like, enough with this. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, Norwood Airport, come on, really? So we all come and he's like, showing us around and he's telling us, his story on what he thinks. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it.
And they did indeed. Almost 2 decades later, Tassos is still thriving.
Customers that come in once, they're family, they come in forever. But we have new customers that come in and they'll say, oh, well, I love Greek food, but my husband doesn't, so I'll have the pasticcio, for example, but he's gonna have the chicken fingers. And I'm like, really, chicken fingers? Like, get the chicken souvlaki. I'm sure you're gonna like it. If you don't, I'll get you chicken fingers. And 9 times out of 10, they like the chicken souvlaki. Just because it's Greek doesn't mean that you're not gonna like it. Some Greek food is delicious.
Being located at the airport, even some famous faces have had their favorite dishes at Tassos.
You always want to acknowledge them so they know that they're the famous faces. One of our local celebrities who was just here is Ernie Bach Jr., Steven Tyler. We have a lot of the sports people come in, football. Christian Fourier is a regular with his family. We had Bill Belichick was here. Maria Stefanos in the news industry is here all the time. Maria loves our finikia and she loves our avgolemono soup.
Every dish at Tassos has been homemade since the beginning.
So our menu is more authentic. Everything is homemade here, and my mother makes the true, authentic yaya version of everything. Tasso is my father. He started this business a long time ago. He had a heart transplant in 2019, so he's retired from the cooking business. He does still come in and make sure that I dot my T's and I dot my I's and cross my T's. He would say, you said that wrong, and he would point. But he does do that, and he sometimes, if you see cameras around here, he'll pop in and he'll make sure that, we're doing the right thing.
But if you're not quite ready to make the jump into the Mediterranean cuisine, the menu at Tassos will not let you go hungry.
Well, you can go from a plain garden salad all the way to a pepperoni pizza. You can order a steak and cheese sub. You can order baked lamb. We have macaroni and cheese for kids to adults. You have a 5-year-old ordering mac and cheese, and you also have a 90-year-old ordering mac and cheese. It's that good. There's so much on the menu. Sometimes you might come in and we'll say, we're out of that, but that's because we try to keep everything fresh.
Even Christiana has her favorite dish.
It's hard to pick one, but it's easy for me to tell you moussaka is my favorite. I can eat moussaka every single day. I love it. Whenever I go to a Greek restaurant when I travel, I like to go to Greek restaurants. Like my sister, she's going to Bahamas in a couple of weeks, and I said, oh, I'll have to give you the address of the Greek restaurant there, go check it out. I like to order pastizo or moussaka because you can tell how well a Greek cooks by the bechamel on the pastizo or moussaka.
While Tassos isn't in Norwood Center, Tassos is well connected to the business community.
Norwood is very supportive. From uptown to downtown, very supportive. Like we have fellow business people that come in and are always, I'm gonna post you on my Facebook page because I'm so happy I came here. Or the local resident that came from the other side of Norwood and is so happy that we're still in business. Just because a lot of this type of restaurant don't exist anymore. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but this type of place, you won't find it in many places. And not only because it's like a family-run business, but the family runs the business. So we're here. Otherwise, we're not open. Otherwise, the door is locked.
To learn more info about Tassos, visit their Facebook page.
I always post specials, different deals we have going on. We have a great family meal deal that we started during COVID. It feeds up, family of 4 and more. It's $49.95. We kind of switch it up every so often. We have different specials throughout the week that we post on Facebook, so definitely check that out. Come in and visit us. Like, even if you just want to walk around and look, we have homemade desserts. Just come sit down and have a cup of coffee. I tell people, you're lonely? Come visit. There's always someone here to talk to. Always.
Tassos Greek dishes are the real deal, and you feel like family from the second you walk through the door. Έχει πάρα πολύ νόστιμα φαγητά και γλυκά, σαν να είσαι στην Ελλάδα.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We leave you now with a list of upcoming events NCM will be covering. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.
Have a good one, everyone.